Welcome to Glitch Jams Live. I'm Jenn Schiffer, Director of Community, and I'm very happy to be here streaming live with y'all. I gotta say, I'm processing a lot of information right now in my head, and a lot of it is disappointing and stuff I didn't want to hear. And I considered maybe delaying this, but then I started opening the tabs of your screensaver submissions, and I was like, okay, I can do this. This is probably uh, this is an hour I look forward to every week. It's a lot of work, but I really enjoy doing it. So for those of you who are in the chat, because this is a live event, thank you for joining me. And if you're watching this later on, thank you for watching as well. Glitch Jams Live is a weekly stream where I share all the really cool apps that y'all are creating, and then you can watch me code a little bit on my own. So let's dive into it. So we've got a couple of updates. We did some scheduled maintenance on Thursday. That was yesterday, which may have impacted asset uploads during that time. We didn't think it did, but just in case, we let anyone know. If you do have issues with uploading assets in the editor, as always, just reach out to us on help.glitch.com. But if you happen to have been running into issues then, and you're wondering why, and you're happy to be here with me, that was what was going on. It's also a good reminder to let you know that our community forum at support.glitch.com is the best place to get real-time updates on not only service updates like scheduled maintenance or incident stuff, but also it's a great place to learn what we're doing towards building a new glitch, share your ideas, your requests, the projects that you're making, and learn about community code jams before really anyone else. I think I published in the forum before I do the stream. I'm being told the music's still loud as my mic. That's because the music, again, thank you for Jen is in the work Slack updating me. Anyway, sorry if you missed any of that. This is old news anyway, but yeah. Anyway, go to the forum and yeah, let us know what you're making. In fact, I'm going to be showing off a couple of the projects that y'all have shared in the forum. One other thing to share is our app of the week. Adam Roy's blog was one of the submissions from last month's community code jam, which is about blogging. This is a cool outdoorsy blog. I actually really do like that spider up there. I love bugs. But this is an 11T site. It looks like it's a remix of one of our 11D starters, and they've been blogging their outdoorsy adventures. So check that out. Let me give a little thank you to Adam Roy for blogging and sharing that blog. That's the glitch app of the week, so you can go to the homepage and read it there, and then click this handy link to start your own 11T blog. I'm actually going to be sharing an update on the blog roll that I had started in the stream last week, so stay tuned for that. So there you go. This is kind of an app that's been around for a while. ELO Ranker, not Electric Light Orchestra, which is one of my top 5 favorite bands. You should check them out if you aren't familiar with them. And ELO ranking is actually a way to rank elements by pitting them against each other. And so if you wanted to, we see some fandoms pitting songs of a certain artist against each other to kind of rank what the best one is out of the group. The creator created this as part of their day job as a product manager. So they use it for feature prioritization, which is cool. So if you actually go to this page, they link to a blog where they write about how to use something like this for feature prioritization. So whether it's for fun, entertainment, or work, you can use this, and you just enter in what you want to rank. Well, let's say let's rank ELO songs. Let's see. Over. Did I spell Beethoven right? Uh, Sweet Talking Woman. Um, Telephone Line. Uh, gosh. I'm going blank. I'm not good on the spot. But anyway, you do that, you load the data, and then you can choose your favorite song. And I think that you keep like choosing them and constantly ranking. It's not like an actual bracket thing. Jen's in the chat, Last Train to London. That's a good one. Mr. Blue Sky. That's like the one that like everybody knows. Um, yeah, Discovery is my favorite album, by the way, which is very divisive. I've learned from the older male crowd that I encounter because I am fans of bands like that. Anyway, try this out, and thank you to Gavrilo for sharing the ELO ranker. Another app I really liked seeing by Jordan Chan is Wonky.js. This is an app that gives you a JavaScript snippet that just like makes your page wonky, which is really funny. So like there's a subtle wonky, it just like changes the angle of everything. Medium, a lot. And let's just break everything. I love this stuff. You know, one of the first WordPress plugins, because I used to make WordPress plugins and all of them are like, most of them are satirical, but I made a WordPress plugin that added just uh box shadow to literally every element on the page. Um, so I'm a sicko that loves this kind of stuff. But you can also like kind of customize your own here. They have some elements to choose and then it creates it. And then you can click it to, I think you can drag it to your bookmarks bar. And yeah, anyway, let's get that wonky one going. So this is fun. Thank you for joining for making that happen. I wonder if they have any other wacky things. Oh my gosh, this is the kind of profile page I love to see. One, because of the cat background, but also someone who's played Neopets. This is why this stuff resonates with me. I think there's a certain segment of the web developer community where we played a lot of Neopets, and it has smoothed our brains in the most beautiful, creative way. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna check out this page later. Again, thank you, Jordan. This this next project, I don't have any context as to what this is, but I have been like laughing my ass off. It's just like a Cesium app, so it's a 3D map, and they just have this like model of, I don't know who this is. Again, I don't know the context of this app. It's not in my language, but doesn't this remind you of the horse race app that I've been sharing? And then Sean, who's in the chat, I showed off your remix of it, of the horses racing New Jersey. But then I came across this, and I'm like, similar vibes. I don't know who this is or where they're going. I don't even know what mountains these are. Um, it's OEC Mountain Track, and I know OEC. I like looked it up, and I think that's like the people who are out to rescue people that are like in the mountains. Again, I don't know. I have any context. I just think that this is like the funniest looking thing. Like imagine that you're just like looking, imagine your job is mine and you're looking at glitch apps that have been shared across the web and you're seeing like really cool tools like the ELO ranker, you're seeing Wonky.js and like that's fun. And then you open this and look at that model go. It's like the funny funniest thing ever. I love it. Um anyway, love this. Okay, it's a private code app, so I can't thank them, but I'll see if I can find any context and try that out. So yeah, I'm going to share more apps as we talk about the screensaver stuff, but I wanted to revisit the work I've been doing for the community blog role. So I last updated this, I think, earlier this week. I went through all the blog submissions. I took the ones that are actually of glitch users because there are some people that it was just like spam entries. Again, this is a glitch community blog roll, not the everyone on the web that's trying to sell a thing blog roll. But we've got 40 of them here. What I did was, of course, I have a CSV of all your submissions. I looked through some of them to make sure that they were safe for work and generated the JSON data of each of the links from the stuff that you add in your form. Let me preview in a new window so you can see. It's not styled at all. We'll get to that point at sometime in the future. But when you click on a link, like I see Naoto is in the chat. What's up? Naoto has 2 submissions. One is the sweater blog. And so you click through, there's the description in a block quote, glitch profile, the host is glitch, the stack, 11T and Tailwind. And then the post that you suggested that if you only read one post, this is it. And yeah, beautiful photography, great gradient background, really awesome project idea. I think I had mentioned that like creating a sweater blog is such a good idea because I collect I have a very small, tightly curated collection of vintage sweaters that have like tinsel thread in them. People call them grandma sweaters. So yeah, I added a page back to home, and I added some pagination, so you can kind of go through. This one's mine. This one's Jen in the chat. Casey in the chat, number 2. And yeah, very cool stuff, right? Future of this is we're doing some work on our own glitch blog, and I want to have like a page that is this blog roll. I don't know if they'll be like paginated like this proof of concept is. I could see it just being like a grid of all the blogs with the description and maybe the suggested first post and glitch profile username. But this is like kind of a good practice, I think, for me to show y'all like a very introductory level of how to start a paginated 11T site. And it gets me to like take all that form data and figure out a format of it that I can easily pop into another 11T blog. Okay, so that's the blog roll right now. Again, there's still more work to do, and I'll continue to share progress as it comes. Okay, I think now that I'm like 16 minutes into this, I'm feeling less like on tilt and like I'm spiraling, but I am a little parched, so I'm gonna have some of my iced tea. So I'm very excited to report that only 8 days into the screensaver jam, and we already have some really awesome submissions, even before I even got to start mine, which I will. So for those of you not familiar, we do a monthly code jam. Go to glitch.com/jams. And every month we have a different prompt. I'll show you some of our previous ones. We had kicked it off with self-portrait, gift giving, your dream default style sheet. And then our last month prompt was welcome to my blog. These past jams, I'm realizing now I put them in a wacky order, and that's okay because life is a highway. Anyway, also, I think, Naoto, if you're still in the chat, thank you for calling out that I forgot to make our screensaver playlist public. I made it private because I work on it before we launch the jam, and I didn't want to spoil it for everybody. So I forgot to make it public, and Naoto discovered that it was private, and it got fixed. Jen clicked the lock to unlock it. Which, by the way, if you don't know, you all can make playlists for free, and you can make them private, you can make them public. I don't know. I love our playlist feature. I went over in the jam in the live stream last week, the screensaver inspiration, so check it out on at your leisure. Hey Lilia in the chat. Welcome. Hello. Um but yeah, this month is screensavers. I don't have the CRT prop like I had last week. But uh the submission so far means that like you totally get the vision of what I was hoping for. So let's jump into some of those examples. So Jeff Matheson tried out Hydra for the first time. We love Hydra. Shouts out to Hydra in the chat. Um, this is really cool. So I'm going to visit it so we can pretend that this is my monitor. And I think it starts off like really subtle. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on the screen. Um, I've had this tab open for a bit, and so uh, it's gonna. I think this one takes like a minute or so to start generating the images, but these tabs have been open for a while, so we'll leave it at that. Naoto made a simple Hydra example that makes for a really cool screensaver. Again, we're thinking of like just movement on the screen to prevent image retention and burning. But really, it's just to kind of be like hypnotic and artsy. Seba says, OMG, I love Hydra so much. Oh, that's awesome. We love Hydra too. We got a lot of Hydra fans and creators in the chat and in the jam. But yeah, I love this. I love the like almost like rainbow filter diamond over the black and white moving, and it kind of reminds me of how a CRT screen kind of looks if you hold a camera up to it. If you ever try to take a photo of a CRT from kind of a distance, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so thank you for that. Let me thank Jeff for theirs. Allo made a screensaver that is, I think this is using Perchance for generative images, and it's just an image slideshow that keeps going and going and going. Again, it doesn't have to be like hypnotic, just like a slideshow. Anything that changes the screen makes it work. So Allo's been making some really cool art generators and AI generators using Perchance and Glitch. So be sure to check those out. Color Vector Fields is using P5 and something called HS Love. This is their take on a coding train challenge. Oh, we love coding train. Shout out to Daniel Schiffman. Anyone whose last name starts with Schiff, because I'm biased, is usually great. I'm just starting to think of other people that I know that have Schiff in their name, and I'm like, no, they're not great. So I'm gonna take back what I just said. Daniel Schiffman, though, amazing person, great educator. Check out Coding Train, and thank you for Death here for sharing this. It's cool. It looks like hair. Like it looks like how beautiful would it be to like be able to touch that? You know, just like shove your hand in there. Um, love this. This is very, very cool. I want to view the source. Let's view the source because we can do that. Um, I've done it. I used to do a lot of like P5 stuff. In fact, my main website on glitch, jennschiffer.com, I believe I use P5 to allow you to draw in the background. So I'm in the index file. And it pulls in hslove.js and script. Let's see. HS Love. What is HS Love? I'm going to search it. Human friendly HSL. HS Love is a human friendly alternative to HSL. It's a color design space. Is there like a library for it? Let's see. Python implementation. I'll have to look more into this. I've never heard of HSL UV. I guess it's not HS Love, but HSL UV. Human-friendly alternative to HSL color space, formerly known as HUSL, is a variation of the CIA LCHEV color space, where the C component is replaced by saturation, representing the colorfulness percentage relative to that. How old is this? Actually, I might have a book. I usually when I want to find out how recent something is, I turn to my my original computer graphics Bible, the Hearn Baker book. And then if you like have taken a computer graphics course in a college that isn't specifically focused on computer graphics, like I did, I went to a liberal arts school. You probably had a text of this sort. And I'm just gonna have to check it now. I know I'm on stream and I shouldn't be like reading a book. I should be showing you apps, but I don't see the model in there. Anyway. Very cool. I'm gonna have to pin this and look into it later. Anyway, thank you for also introducing me to a new concept. And yeah, Jen says it reminds me of how yarn is made. And also show us the library. I've pruned my books, but I've covered my shelf in like toys and stuff, so it makes it harder to grab a book. But if something reminds me of a book, I'm gonna turn around and grab it. That's why it's right there. Okay, we got one more submission as of like an hour before the stream started, and that's our Minty Crisp. We know Minty Crisp's Conway's Game of Life and A-Frame app. This one is also an A-Frame app, and it's a clock showing the spinning of time. Love that. They said it's a screensaver inspired clock to display the date and time as well as the current second, minute, hour, day, month, and the year's progress via orbits with A-frame. The sky animates through day and night as well. I'm gonna open this in a full window. Yeah, that's very cool. This is just a great clock. Do we think that maybe time or clocks should be the April prompt? Time. I'm writing this down on a piece of paper I do not have near me, so I'm gonna write it on my arm. Time prompt. So that I remember it later. Thank you, Minty, for participating and making something really cool. Yeah. Anyway, if you've not made a screensaver, then you should try it out. You've seen a couple examples that were just made for this jam. We have some inspiration in the playlist on the bottom, glitch.com/jams, which are now public. And I don't know. Should I start my jam right now? I think I should. So let's make a screensaver. Okay. Also, before I get into it, 2 reminders before I get into the live coding. jamslive.glitch.me is our run a show for every episode of Glitch Jams Live, including today's. So if I showed something and you're like, wait, what was the URL? I want to check it out. Or any of the episodes, this is the 14th time I've done this. You can just go to the run a show. We'll have an embed of the show, as well as a link to all the things that I had shared. And I'll also update stuff that I add, like my remix I'm going to make of my screensaver. In fact, while I'm here, I have to do this every single show. I have to update the run a show because I just realized looking at it that I have a link to one of the projects. You can view the source. This is an 11T page. And so in today's post, I just noticed that I have the wrong URL for ELO ranker. So there you go. Now it should be up to date. Make sure it's right. ELO ranker. Boom, bang, bop. Okay, so yeah, Jam's live. Glitch not me. If maybe Jenn, if you can share a link, that would be great. Because if I move to my other screen, clearly my attention is hanging by a thread. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do first. I'm gonna take a sip of my drink. I'm gonna remix. I want to do a blank version of the website because again, that's usually how I like to start. So I got that from the Discover page. Thanks, Jenn, for posting the run a show in the chat. Let's see. Okay, so here we have this little starter here. I'm going to just like remove everything, except the header. I'm gonna put okay. Let me think. I'm gonna go to the README and I'm gonna kind of type out what I want to do. My keyboard also like keeps disconnecting and I have to like type a bunch of keys to get it going, and it's doing that more today than it usually does. So here's what I do. I want to have this is a screensaver starter where it tracks how much time has gone by since there's been a a mouse moved to a key clicked, because that's what like a screensaver, like your operating system is tracking how much time has happened since any movement has been happening, since any like input peripheral, if you will, has gone off. And on the web browser, that's typically like you've moved your mouse or you've clicked a key on your keyboard. And then after a certain amount of time of none of that movement, a screensaver is triggered. And so we have to track that. So we know that it tracks how much time has gone by since there. And then when the timer gets to X amount of milliseconds or whatever, so let's say for the sake of like testing, we really only want it to do like, we'll say 5 seconds. We want to turn the screensaver on. And when there's a mouse move or key click, we turn off the screensaver if it's on, and we reset the timer. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff that we need. So let's just like write out. We can write out the pseudocode in script.js. I'm just gonna do in the README so you can see the instructions on top. Yeah, and Seba says, "Wait, that's such a great way of putting it. I never thought of that." Well, thank you. I also tend to need everyone's help in the chat, so feel free to call out anything or your own ideas or how you would like think about it. My way of usually working, whether I'm live or not, is just like kind of like writing stuff out and then identifying like what are the variables I need, like what's the logic that is necessary. And he just says, and feed it to ChatGPT to generate the code. Yeah, like that's actually, this could be a good prompt. I haven't really used ChatGPT to um, generate code, not because I'm against it. It's just that like it hasn't been necessary for me to do. Um, but let's start to pull out from here like what we need to do. So, what our app needs. So, we're gonna need like a const timer, and it would start at 0. We would need a uh, oh, actually, not gonna const because the timer is gonna change. Um, so we'll let, I almost put int in bool because I used to write Java, and that part of my brain right now, for some reason, actually, I know why that part of my brain was triggered because I pulled out my computer graphics textbook. I'm like, why am I thinking Java? Anyway, we're gonna let the timer equal 0. We're gonna let screensaver on equal false, because that's what we need to track if the screensaver's on. We need to track the timer, and then we need event listeners, mouse move, and key press. Yeah. Oh, also click, because you can like click without moving your mouse, and you want that to trigger it. So, the key or mouse clicked. Yeah. And for the timer, we're gonna need a set interval to increment the timer, and yeah, want to increment the timer, and I think I want to show the timer on the index page. So what if we said this one is id equals timer, and it'll be blank. See, we've got nothing here. Okay, now that's what I think we're good so far on. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this into a comment in here. First, we can know if this is actually working because I'm going to open up developer tools. Also, if the code is too tiny on the screen, let me know. But also, don't tell me to use dark mode because I'm just not going to do that. But if the words are too big, I can probably increase. Well, that's the DevTools side. Okay, so these errors that are in DevTools and stuff are related to like the editor and not my actual app. Because like if I open up the preview in a new window and open up, not the source, but oh wait, how do here we say it says hello world, so that's coming from our script here. I'm gonna just copy. I already copied the README. Whoop. What did I accidentally copied something off of the DevTools. Let's boom. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's write some JavaScript. Clear this out. Okay. Also, I'm going to. Okay, I have auto refresh turned off. I got wrap turned on. Let's freaking roll. Okay, let's start with the pseudocode. So I got the pseudocode for creating a timer, which is actually just valid JavaScript. So I'm gonna say let timer equals 0, let screensaver on equals false. And then let's create some event listeners. There's multiple ways to create an event listener in JavaScript. Let me open up MDN to show you. there's like add event listener, there's the element dot on click or on key press. I tend to turn to add event listener because I don't know, it just it's more readable to me. On is fewer letters, so it's like more efficient. But when I see event listener, and that's because like I'm a native English speaker, so like naturally, I think there's like that bias there. So I'm going to, and there's different event listers that we have, like mouse up, mouse move. We're gonna do click is one of them. Key press, which will tell us like what. Oh, key down. That's what it is. Okay. I think there might also be a press. But is there a list on this page? This is MDN, by the way. Is there a list of all the event listeners? Probably not on here. Anyway, let's see. Okay. So we're going to create two, and it's on the entire window, not on the entire window of the page, not of the computer because this is an operating system. But we're calling on like the window of like the app. And so we add event listener. And the first argument is the event listener. So click is one. And then what follows is the function that you want to call when that happens. Because we're going to have 3 event listeners that trigger the same thing, that resetting the timer and adding the screensaver, instead of having 3 event listeners with 3 of like the same function within this argument, like I can do like, oh my gosh, I wish my keyboard would work for me. Like I can do it's console.log click. Like that works. Prettier will make it look nicer. I can do this 3 times and do mouse move and key down. Move, key. Let's clear that stuff out. Let's refresh. And now it's moving. You can see like down in the bottom of I'm pointing at my screen. Like you can freaking see what I'm pointing to. You can see down here that 113. This is happening every time it moves. Now I'm clicking. I'm clicking a few times. And then I'm hitting a key. I'm hitting the G, other keys. So you're seeing the key press. So we have these event listeners, and right now they're telling me what event is happening, but as far as the screensaver goes, it doesn't freaking matter. We're going to do the same exact thing regardless. And so we can in fact create a function. We'll call it what would we call what these actions are? I guess just like turn screensaver off. Or screen changed. You can call it whatever. And this one will say, we'll have this do a thing. We'll have it turn off screensaver, reset timer. And so we want this to be done with every one of these events, and so we can just replace it with the function we want called. And I'll just copy and paste that end here. Okay. Listen, so here I'm just gonna comment we're listening for triggering of screen changes. and then on it happens, we will do that. So when the screen changes, we want screensaver on to be false. I've been using semicolons, but I think this Prettier adds semicolons. Yeah, okay. I was like, how do I add semicolons? I usually don't add them, but Prettier turns them on, and I'm fine with that. If you want to change that, you can go to Help Center. You can learn how to like. I think you can update some of the rules for Prettier. But yeah. Anyway, that was like, where did those semicolons come from? Screensaver on. Timer equals 0. Gosh. I'm goshing at my keyboard, not working. Let's see. Oh, we got like more than 15 minutes left, so we're making good timing. This is like fun stuff. Like just listening for everything to happen and making a change. And this will be like, I think, a good starter for any of you to remix if you want to add this to your page. Now, I have no idea what the screensaver is going to be. I just want to get in the scaffolding, and then I can kind of like think over the next week before the next live stream of what I want the actual screensaver to be. But I am going to be adding this to JennSchiffer.com, and I'll show you how I do that as well. Because in theory, what I want is like anywhere you add this script, and I'll probably rename this to screensaver. Actually, let me do that right now. I'm gonna rename this. Bro Dingo's in the chat. What's up, my dude? We go way back, unless you're a different Bro Dingo. But confirm. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so we can get rid of this. We got this. We have to add a set interval that increments the timer. Turn screensaver off, or okay. This is a callback when screen changes. This is initiate screensaver. Neil said, let's not hate on semicolons. Many of us like them. I don't hate on them. Are people hating on them? Oh, Casey said no semicolon crew. I was like, I'm not hating on them. I just was wondering where they were coming from because I forgot that Prettier is adding it. I forgot that I clicked that button. That's how often I click that button, is I forget that I'm actually doing it. But yeah, I do it a lot. Okay, let's see. So we initiated the screensaver, or the timer, and the fact that screensaver is off. That we would call that a state, if you will. Oh, this code keyboard is driving me up a wall. Now I know the chat's most of my coworkers. I would say this keyboard is driving me crazy. Okay. Initiate screensaver state. This is when the screen changes, blah, blah, blah. And now we got a set interval. Gosh, I don't know when the last time I did a set interval was. Set interval, the code, and the delay. And the delay is in milliseconds, which if you tell me to convert a second to milliseconds, I'm going to tell you I did not go to school for time science. I went to school for computer science. So we're going to initiate the screensaver. Initiate or start the timer to. So set interval basically is like you do a thing. Usually it's a function. Actually, I think it might always be a function. And then the second argument is time. Can someone in the chat, while working on the set interval, tell me how many milliseconds is 5 seconds? That's 500, right? Let me know if I'm crazy. Anyway, I'm also going to close this out because I don't need to know that stuff. I don't need DevTools open. Casey says it's right there in the name. There are 1,000,000 seconds and 1 millisecond. That's what got me freaking wrecked. 5,000. Okay. 5,000 milliseconds in 5 seconds. Okay. Oh, thank you. If I can get that 0 going. Who needs ChatGPT when you've got the live chat? Okay. Okay. So we want to make sure that the timer. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna increment the timer, right? We can increment like that in JavaScript, right? But I want to see it actually working. And so remember how I have this h1 ID timer? I'm going to get that. Const timer display equals query selector. Oh, document dot query selector, right? Timer. Fun fact, I used to just do the full on like document dot get elements by ID, capital I lowercase d, and then like the ID in that. I like never really got into using query selector because that was like fairly new and like not exactly widely supported, I think, when I first learned about it. So I'm really just kind of like getting into using query selector. I don't know, it's just like it's a lot less restrictive, but also that makes me trust it less. Does that make sense? Anyway, we're gonna set the inner HTML display dot inner HTML equals timer, and I add the semicolon myself. Now I'm realizing that the 5,000, the millisecond thing, doesn't actually even matter. I'm not setting an interval, checking every 5 seconds. I want to wait to see that the timer gets to 5,000. So, you know what I mean? This is actually, I'm gonna want to check like instantly, right? I don't know. Let me think. Yeah, I want to like show the timer. Let's let me comment this out for a sec so I get it out of my mindset. Okay, timer is 0, screensaver is off. We have a timer display that should be set to timer, which it's working because there's a 0 here. And I want to set interval and update the timer, which, and this should update it, I guess, every 5 seconds. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to, let's have it update every 1 second. Okay, cool. We just created a clock. Congrats, we invented clocks. So now that is just visually, we just want to set the timer. And when I moused over the screen, it resets it. Okay, cool. That's exactly what we want. So we got the timer started, and now here we can say if timer is greater than or equal to 5 seconds, timer display dot inner HTML equals screensaver on, else it equals inner HTML. I'm going to show you how we can update that. So, okay. So now we're going to let it get up to 5. And, oh, duh. 5,000. Oh, duh. It's actually going to get up to 5,000. 5 seconds. Jennifer. I hate time, by the way. I don't know if y'all feel the same way. Screensaver on. Beautiful. And then when I moved over it, it restarted the timer. Screensaver on. Beautiful. Okay. Now, I once got in a performance review in my last job, which is totally valid, but I think they were kind of harping on the wrong thing, which was your code is. It was told your code is extremely readable, but that makes it verbose, and this is like the crap that they were talking about. We can refactor this to say like timer just I think we can do timer display dot inner. I don't know if we can assign the value with ternary statement, but we'll find out. Okay, so we want to say if it's 5, then screensaver on or else timer. Does that work? 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. So I took like those few lines and I turned it into a single line. That is not exactly like readable, but it's not verbose. And so that is something I'm always just kind of keeping an eye out of, because that was something that I had to work a lot on in my previous job where I was full-time JavaScript developing. But I am a slow programmer because I do have to write it out in a more readable way. Like, that's just kind of like, God, like, throw me in prison for being neurodivergent. Anyway, we have our screensaver. And Brodinga says time is the only enemy. And it is true. So let's see. Okay. I think we got the screen, tracks how much time has gone by, mouse is moved, or key or mouse is clicked. Timer gets to 5 seconds, turn the screensaver on. When there's a mouse move or key click, turn off the screensaver and reset the timer. Cool. That's what we freaking did. Freaking did it. 5 more minutes. Okay. I need your help. We also, let's see. Here, okay, this is where my verbosity probably was actually valid. It's not so much that we have to set the inner HTML to be screensaver on. We have to set the variable for screensaver on. And so we, because right now my screensaver is just the text on the timer, which works, but we have to, as they said in the TV show Lost, we have to go back. Kate! I was not like a huge Lost fan, but I watched all of it while I was working on my master's degree. So again, opening up this freaking computer graphics book, like unsmoothed a wrinkle in my brain that I was hoping to stay smooth forever. Okay. So we have a timer. We're going to increment the timer, and we want to know if screensaver time turn on, otherwise do nothing. The timer is only triggering if the screensaver is supposed to go on. So that gets to the crux of if. Oh, please type. Jeff, are you in the chat? Jeff Atwood, I have a question. You were here last week. What is the best dongle to connect the code keyboard to an iMac? Because it's regular USB. Is there like a USB-C attachment that best supports so I don't have to hit a key 7 times, respectfully? If the timer is less than or equal to 5, screensaver on equals true, and we don't need the timer display. We know that the logic works. And otherwise do nothing. So what do I want to do with the screensaver? I think we actually should probably not have a Boolean value for detecting whether the screensaver is on or not. We want to have functions to turn them off or on. And so I'm going to create a function called toggle screensaver, and it takes in state, which will be a Boolean value. If state equals true, screensaver timer display dot inner HTML equals screensaver on, else timer display You're really getting into the mind of a sicko right now. And then here, instead of setting the state here, we'll just call toggle screensaver false, and toggle's not the right word for it really, because we're not toggling. Toggle is like flipping a switch. We can get rid of this. Let's refresh the page. Okay. How do we get this to work? Let's see. Timer increments. If it's above 5, screensaver true. Screen change. Screensaver false. Timer equals 0. And then here, we can even just say if state, like if true, else false. Let's figure out what's going on in dev tools. And then I gotta go because I have things to do today. Okay, so starting with the 0. That's interesting. Where is that coming from? Is that because, oh, I set it to timer. So I'm gonna say, we're gonna initiate it by toggle screensaver false, because that's the initial screensaver state. Can't access lexical declaration before initialization. Well, yeah, I figured that. That's because you can't, you have to have the function declared before you call it. Can't get mad at that. Okay, it's off. And then after like 5 seconds, it should turn on. And then I moved it so it turned off. Now let's wait for it to turn on. Cool. I'm gonna click. It's off. Great. Now, okay, here is where the screensaver stuff happens. Okay. And I'm gonna turn off and this is how we turn off screensaver. Okay, so next week I'm gonna need your help. So like in the comments, I see some ideas like blue screen of death. We want to figure out what I want to make my personal page, jennschiffer.com, do when the screensavers turn on. And to kind of give you some inspo, my site outside of East Coast business hours, and that's a spoiler because normally you have to install an npm package to find that out, my website turns off. I use P5 and I have this thing where you can like draw around it. I want a screensaver. So you've seen the colors here, this color scheme. It's all like just CMYK. What is something I can do that like is in line with my page? And yeah. Nancy says, "Can you animate your self-portrait hiking awkwardly?" I love that. I love that project so much. Anyway, next week we're gonna figure it out. We can do anything. Like I can like replace the page with an iframe of one of the random screensaver submissions that y'all create this month. Like that's a thing I can do. So if you're looking for screensaver inspiration, a CMYK generative art thing could be something that I do. Something with slime green, yeah, exactly. But I'm gonna post this. Actually, I wonder if Hello Screensaver is available. Yes, cool. I'm gonna add the screensavers code jam here. It's a web-based screensaver starter. So you can use Hello Screensaver as your starter and do some cool stuff with it, and we'll continue to do it next week. Yeah, cool. Okay. I'm in a much better mood now than I was when I started this. So thank you for joining me. I will see you next week. And I will see you on glitch.com. Have a good weekend.